Good morning, good afternoon, my fellow Biafrans. Biafra all over the world, you are watching live and direct on Enter Biafra Channel 1 and Channel 2, live and direct on Voice of Biafra 97.5 FM in Biafra land, including in Akwa Ibom State, which is also part of Biafra. The broadcast is live and direct in Akwa Ibom State. We will be expecting the River State Voice of Biafra very soon. And of course, we'll be expecting other Voice of Biafra across Biafra land. And very soon, we are going to cover the entire Biafra territory with the radio FM Voice of Biafra 97.5. I thank you all this evening from my location here, and I want to inform Biafra people that we are marching forward. I want you to understand that it is your responsibility to be part of those who will secure the future of your unborn generation. I want you to understand at no point in time will you succumb to threat from both the state actors and those ignorant non-entities who come with all manner of threat, thinking that with threat you are going to derail and you are going to succumb to their threat. I want you also to understand that no amount of military siege in Biafra land will make you to derail. I want you to understand that you must stand very firm and stand very strong as we are entering the final stage of Biafra freedom. Freedom is never things that come from the platter of gold. Fight for freedom is dirty. The fight for freedom is something that many people will stake their life to make others gain their freedom and the future generation of their nations to be secured. That's exactly what we have chosen to do. That's exactly what the Biafra people are doing. That's what the autopilot of IPOB, under the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, in his absence, we have decided to be doing. The path we have taken so far will be the path that is going to lead us to Biafra in 2023. I have come this evening as a Biafran, as a spokesperson for the indigenous people of Biafra and the Biafra people, to explain some of the roadmap. I would say to explain one of the roadmap, how Biafra will be restored and how we are going to achieve our independence in 2023. There are some of the things I'm not going to make open, but I'm just going to tell you one of the strategy, which is no election in Biafra land. There is something you are going to know today. You are going to know at least very little reason why no election will facilitate Biafra next year. I'm going to explain, but I'm not going to give details somehow that the Nigeria state may look for a way to sustain the no election. Of course, it does not matter how they want to do it, but with what we have at hand, it will never be successful if they try to sustain it. We are not hiding our mouth, we are not hiding our plan, and we are not hiding what we are doing. What we are doing is legitimate. We are now fighting like Ukrainians. We are fighting like South Sudan and North Sudan. We are fighting just like every other nation who have fought and they gain their freedom after fighting. We are now fighting in a different way. I want to inform some of you today who do not understand what is going on, that the Biafra war did not end in 1970. After the physical and gun war and the bomb war that ended in 1970, Nigeria adopted a new systematic war against Biafra. Of course, some people will say everybody is being marginalized. Some people will say the Biafra people are being marginalized. And we have come to inform them that the fight for Biafra freedom is not because of marginalization. And the reason is because when you talk to them, they tell you it is not only Biafrans that are being marginalized, that every tribe is marginalized and complaining in Nigeria. So why do you want to continue to be part of a country where every tribe is complaining? Only one tribe is not complaining. Only one tribe. And that tribe was not even in Nigeria in the first place. They call them Fulani. Only Fulani are the people who are not complaining. Because naturally, they are Alekas. What our people call Aleka. Aleka is Ngwere. Ngwere that doesn't drink water. Fulani are like Ngwere. Ngwere is called lizard. Lizard that doesn't drink water. So if they see something to eat, they are very contented with it. Fulani are a tribe that never had any plan of development. So they are the only people that are not complaining in Nigeria because the agenda is not for them to become anything or to drink water. The plan of Fulani is not to drink water. They are Nwangweres, lizard. They live like lizard that doesn't drink water. So when the people of Nigeria, the ethnic groups and indigenous people in Nigeria, they can no longer drink water, they are beginning to behave like Nwangweres, like lizard, like Alekas of the nomadic people. It takes many years for people to not drink water and they will begin to complain. So when you touch this person, they tell you, I am not drinking water anymore. I am marginalized. So the marginalization here, I'm just using water, to do some illustration. They will tell you, it is not only Biafrans that are not drinking water. Well, the Yorubas are not also drinking water. They are complaining of water. The Middle Belt is also, the Hausa people are complaining of water. So why is it you, Biafra people, that want to leave Nigeria just because you are the one complaining about water? Other people are complaining too. So the question is, who wants to continue to stay in a country that he cannot drink water? When you have come to understand that if you separate from these people, you will be able to manufacture something that will give you water. You'll be able to drill something that will give you water. You'll be able to make a machine that can produce water for you. So why do you want to continue to be in a country where other people are complaining, and because other people are complaining, they say you must complain with us. Let us die here together. We cannot die together in one Nigeria. That is why Biafra are leading the forefront of the dissolution of Nigeria by 2023. So I have given you an illustration of why the Biafra people are taking this lead to disintegrate Nigeria. Because we cannot agree to suffer like you. Whether Hausa people is marginalized and they don't want to complain is their problem. We are not only complaining about the marginalization. And let me tell you, it is not about marginalization. But let us even take it from the context of that marginalization. So we are saying that if you are very comfortable and with your complaint against Nigeria state, with your complaint against the establishment of Nigeria, that makes you to complain and feel marginalized. And if you are comfortable with that, we must not have the same opinion with you. We are not comfortable. And the majority of Biafrans are not comfortable. So, and we are also not even, we don't even expect every Biafrans to agree with us. Those who are very comfortable with their suffering, with their sufferhead in Nigeria, they can also choose. And that is why it is very important. The world knows what we call the referendum, where people will vote either to be part of this sufferhead Nigeria or not. And as so far so good, The majority of Biafrans have adopted the exit of Biafra from Nigeria. And that is why everything we do, everything we order, they respect and they honor and obey it. So anybody thinking that what we are doing is out of line, what we are doing is against law, or what we are doing is against anything, the person is joking. What we are doing is a right thing. We are going to fight Nigeria. It is our right when they refuse to listen to us. And I want those who think that we are trying to stop democratic process. No. Nigeria themselves stopped democratic process in the first place. What we are doing now is only to help Nigeria destroy their evil democratic process. Nigeria started it. Do you know how they started it? Nigeria started destroying democratic process by killing the indigenous people of Biafra who went to demonstrate and exercise their democratic right to protest. They killed them. Nigeria state went to where IPOB members were praying in Biafra land and killed 150 of them. So they started the destruction of the democratic process and the democracy. And we are going to help them to end it in 2023. Democracy does not exist in Nigeria. It doesn't exist. Nigeria went to Lekki Toll Gate while Nigerians carried flag to show their civil right to demonstrate against the state for whatever reason. Nigeria killed them. It is just on the 20th of this month will make it 2 years. So we need to refresh a moment. So when you talk about people or Biafra people decided that we have decided to not allow Nigeria to organize Nigeria election in Biafra land, we are not disturbing democratic process because democracy is dead in Nigeria a long time ago, before we even started this liberation movement, because we are now in liberation. So we are going to help Nigeria to destroy it by 2023 and then rebuild our nations and have our freedom from Nigeria. Now, this evening, I've just come to explain to you how stopping election in Nigeria, stopping Nigeria election in Biafra land is going to facilitate Biafra next year. That is what I have come here to explain to you this evening. I may not go into I may not explain a lot of things because there are those that are meant for only us and why we adopt and following this path. So if anybody asks you that you are trying to stop democratic process, tell the person that Nigeria itself has killed democracy. And what we are doing now is to destroy everything destroyable and get our freedom. And then we are going to adopt a true democratic system where you will have the right to protest, where you have the right to carry flags and all that and hit to the street if you feel you are being treated badly. I want you to understand that the Biafra we are talking about is a Biafra where people will take to the street like you see in Scotland today. I want you to understand that the Biafra we are talking about is the Biafra that you are right, just like the Scottish people are doing now, demanding for their freedom from the United Kingdom in the street of Endibong and all that. The Biafra we are talking about is a Biafra you can carry flag. If you feel that you want to be autonomy within the Biafra Confederation, you can protest like this. You are looking at the Scottish people. The Scottish people, this is Scotland. They are protesting 2 days ago. They were in the streets of Edinburgh and they were protesting and demanding freedom from the United Kingdom. So this is what we call democracy. That is what we call democracy. In a democratic country like this, you don't see anybody carry arms. You don't see police killing anybody. You don't see police invading them and killing them. So you do not expect them to carry arms like the Biafra people are now carrying arms to defend themselves because they are being killed. Now, when you come to Nigeria, I want to first of all give you example why we are going to stop Nigeria from exercising any democratic process in Biafra territory. I want to make it clear today that Biafra people will stop Nigeria exercising any democratic process in Biafra land. This is what they did to Biafra people who did not carry arms. They only went to pray, and the Nigeria state, they came there and they killed all of them. Here, we will bring you evidence to see the difference between democratic and non-democratic government.
Its own way of dealing with peaceful gatherings it doesn't like.
Peaceful gathering.
They started shooting us, killing our brothers. Over 10 of them were lying dead.
The army is trained to kill and not to police processions or protests or demonstrations. They are trained to eliminate whoever they see as the enemy.
See young men, young boys, 18 years, 15 years, being wasted like that. Just because of what you don't know.
The day began with a gathering of people who want to create an independent country in the southeast of Nigeria, what was once known as Biafra. Pro-Biafra members and supporters had come to pray for the release from prison of one of their leaders.
Did you hear that? They have come to pray. They have come to pray. They gathered in a field to pray. But what did the Nigeria government do? They killed them. 150 of them slaughtered and they died in their cold blood. This killing did not stop. By this time, Biafra people have not picked up arms. I want you to understand from where we are coming from, the background. So when they tell you about democracy, tell them it is the time is no longer the time we listen to that nonsense. Nigeria don't have democracy. Only democracy will be seen in Biafra land when Biafra is restored. So this is the democracy that people are telling you to protect.
We have seen an increased number of disgruntled young men and women in southeastern Nigeria joining processions, joining gatherings to demand for an independent Biafra state. Because the people in that part of the country have always feel marginalized, they've always been segregated against, they've always feel left out in the share of the Nigerian national cake.
Back in 1967, people in the southeast of Nigeria declared themselves independent, creating a separate country called Biafra. A civil war ensued in which an estimated 2 million civilians died, mainly from famine, as a result of the blockade on food supplies imposed by the Nigerian government. Almost 50 years on, there is a resurgence in calls for Biafra to again become a separate state. About 200 pro-Biafra members and supporters gathered in a high school playing field. Many recorded what happened next.
So, Have you seen it? Have you seen the reason why whenever they come to tell you Simon Ekpa and the Biafra people, they want to stop democratic process, tell them, we don't stop democratic process. Where I am, there is democracy. And I participate in democratic process where we live. I participate in election here. And I am a lover and an advocate of democracy. But in Nigeria, there is no democracy. So who says we are trying to disrupt the democratic process? Now, I want you to look at what is democratic process again for the second time.
From 25% in 2012 to 45% in 2014. Never doubt yourself or what you have to offer when you speak to others about your vision of independence. I then made the decision to stand for and become an MP. And I just had a conversation 5 minutes ago about would anybody have imagined what's happened in the last 8 years if we could have predicted that in 2014. Do you think?
Now, I have just showed you have seen Nigeria, how they killed us, and you have seen the United Kingdom, Scotland demonstration just 2 days ago, demanding for their own independence from the United Kingdom. Nobody is being killed. Nobody carry arms. Nigeria even killed their own people, their own citizens, who were not demonstrating or demanding freedom. They are only demanding some kind of, to have some kind of overhaul of the SARS. The disbandment of SARS, security operative, that the Fulani people have used to commit all manner of atrocities against the Nigeria people. They were only demanding for a better police service system, security system, a better security system where people cannot be killed anyhow. And police brutality. Thank you. And you know what they do? The police reform. Thank you. You can call it police reform. Answers. And you know what they did? Instead of them to look into the demand of the people, they killed them. So how can somebody come to say, don't fight against democratic process? There is no democratic process in Nigeria. And that is the reason why the only opportunity we have to leave Nigeria is next year. Next year, presidential and general election. We are going to stop it. And I want to make the point very clear. what the Biafra people are going to do is to stop Nigeria from conducting election in Biafra territory. We are going to stop Nigeria from conducting election in Biafra land. And any place that is Biafra, we will make sure we stop Nigeria from conducting election there. That is our target, by force. We are going to use force to stop it. And let me tell you, it is the resolve of Biafra people. One of the weapons we have now is the election. And let me tell you how it is going to work. I'm going to give you a very brief, before we go into Asaba Massacre, I'm going to give you a brief how it is going to work. Like, we have been able to establish that Nigeria is not a democratic country. So do not come to tell us how we are planning and trying to stop democratic process. There is no democratic process in Nigeria. We have been able to prove that to you. Number two, by the time we succeed in stopping the democratic process or the voting in Biafra land, in Biafra territory, two things is going to happen. One, before explaining these two things that is going to happen, let me give the background of why the stopping election, Nigeria from conducting election in Biafra land is very important. For you to be a president of Nigeria, according to the law, that doesn't exist. For you to be a president in Nigeria, you must win 25% of 24 states, including Abuja. And I want you people to know how evil they restructured Nigeria, because they know the time is coming when Biafra will stop election in Nigeria. I am telling you. So do you know what they did? They said, for you to be a president in Nigeria, you must win 24 states with at least 25% of the vote. Now, when we look at the Biafra state, Biafra has about 13, at least 13 states. Not fully 13 states, but Biafra has 11 states and part of Kogi and part of Benue. So let's say we have 13 states of Biafra, the 13 states that make up Biafra territory today. When we take the part of Benue, part of Kogi, part of Edo state, we have that 13 states that make up Biafra. Like, let me also say this. It is not a must that everybody within this 13 state will be part of Biafra. It is not a must. If you don't want to be part of Biafra, we will let you go. And I know that when the opportunity for referendum comes, we are going to put it to vote. So if you don't want to be part of Biafra, no problem. You can go and handle your own, your own way. We don't have problem with that. But it is going to be vote. It is not one-man decision. So those in those areas will vote also, whether they want to be part of Biafra or not. So we are not yet, discussing about the disagreement within ourselves, whether this one wants to be part of Biafra or not, because when that time comes, we are going to open the floor, and people are going to decide through a democratic process that never existed in Nigeria. So we don't have issue. So when they come with distraction, Akwa Ibom is not Biafra, Calabar don't want to be part of Biafra, all those nonsense, it's a distraction. Because when we get to that bridge, you are going to know actually the Calabar people will talk whether they are part of Biafra or not. When we go to that bridge, Akwa Ibom people will talk whether they are Biafra or not. So we are not there yet. And we are not listening to gossips. Now, and let me also tell you that during the time that we are going to have a referendum where the Calabar people, Akwa Ibom people, and the other people will vote to be part of Biafra, we are going to have a massive awareness for them to actually understand what it means to be part of Biafra and not to be part of Biafra. We're going to have that grassroots awareness, massive awareness for that, for just the referendum alone. It is going to be a campaign. So when we have that, the people will be able to know, what is best for them. Is it to be part of Biafra, or is it to have their own separate state, which we are not going to kick against, because everybody wants to be free. Okay, if you are not comfortable with us, you can go your way. We don't care. Nancy Harbour, thank you very much for a super chat. We appreciate you. So what I'm trying to say is that for you to be a president in Nigeria, you must win 24 states with over at least 25% of the vote. Now, it is now when it comes to the election of a president, they now remember it is going to be 24 states instead of zone. Okay? They didn't say zone. They didn't say you must win 4 zones. They didn't say you must win 5 zones. They said 24 states. So in the election, I want you to understand how Fulani have restructured Nigeria, and you idiots don't know. Not Biafra, but those Nigeria idiots, they don't know. So when they want to talk election, about the percentage of the election, they didn't remember that is zoning. They didn't remember that in Nigeria, you have 6 geopolitical zones. They now calculated it to state. And it is because of that reason, the Biafra land have the least state in Nigeria. The south of Biafra have 6 states. The southeast of Biafra have 5 states. So combine it together, you have 11 states. Okay? You have 11 states. Now, this 11 states from the from the southeast. Now you bring the middle belt, the Benue part, and the Kogi part of Biafra. So if you minus 11 states from 36 states of the federation, how many does it give you? If you minus 11 states from 36, can we have how many states? Does it gonna give you 25 states? 25. So literally 25 states. So what does this mean? What it means is that without Biafra land, you can still produce president. But it is not possible. What they are telling you now is that without Biafra territory, without Southeast and without South-South, you can still produce president. But do you know what? It is not. Plus FCT. Yes, thank you. Plus the Abuja is 37, of course, plus Abuja. So if you minus 11 states from 36, it will give you 25. So already, you can conduct election with 25 states and still produce Nigeria president. Do you understand me? But for that to be possible, the president, whoever that is going to win in the election, must provide 25, must win at least 25% of the entire 24 states, which is not possible. It is not possible because the people in Yoruba land cannot give 25% of the vote, in all states of Yoruba land to Fulani. The same thing happens to the north. The northern people, Fulani, cannot give 25% of every vote, every state to the Tinubu from the Yoruba land. Thank you very much, 26. So it is not possible. And let's even take it that it is not possible. And then also we'll come to look at it from the context that it is possible. So if it is not possible to get for a Yoruba man to get 25% of vote in the entire 24 remaining states, minus the Biafra territory, if it is possible, how will the politician in the state of Biafra react to that? Are they going to accept it? Of course, you know what the answer is. They will never accept it. They will never accept it because it is going to be a combination of both the opposition and the ruling party and the other political parties that are involved in the southeast and the south-south that made up Biafra land. So the politicians in this state who are now loggerhead against each other will never accept it. So it is not only us. We are now putting them by force into the struggle for Biafra. I want you people to understand the strategy we want to use. And I'm making this public because it has become imperative for you people to know from which angle we are coming from. So if Tinubu is declared a winner, every politician that is against Tinubu from Biafra land will rise up against it. If Atiku is declared a winner, every politician in Biafra land that is against Atiku will rise up and they will form alliance with Biafra. I want you people to understand that this is the only way to make Nigeria bleed for the pains they have caused us many years. So, whichever way, we are on the winning side. And if at the end of the day, they decided to vote without the Biafra territory, and nobody were able to win 24% of the state with at least 25% vote among this contestant or among this aspirant, that is an outright crisis. And from that crisis, new nation will emerge. And I'm only giving you this illustration from the Biafrans alone, from the context and the perspective of a Biafran. I have not even analyzed the Yoruba nation activities. I have not analyzed the Middle Belt from Otom, Governor Otom, Benue State people. I have not analyzed Kaduna crisis. I have not analyzed Jos crisis. I have not analyzed indigenous Hausa perspective. I am only giving you now Biafra, only Biafra perspective. And let me tell you, by the time the indigenous people in other parts of Nigeria hear how resolute Biafra stood against election, they are going to also rise up. And that is an extra. If they don't rise up, we are still winning. And if they rise up, it facilitates it even more. And I want you to understand, as it stands today, nobody is happy with Nigeria. All the things they do is patch. And they are only looking for opportunity to take the thing by themselves. And that opportunity will be created by Biafra people under the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And IPOB autopilot will instigate it. I want you to understand that IPOB autopilot has become officially the liberation movement for the freedom of Biafra people from Nigeria. Every strategic things we have will be put in place. We have the plan and the roadmap. So I have just given you the example of what is going to be the outcome. Because when you listen to them, they say, oh, if you do not vote, Tiku will declare winner. Oh, if you did not vote, Tinubu will declare winner. Is that what you want? Oh, if you do not vote, Peter Obi will not win. Vote Peter Obi to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Peter Obi to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. How Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is going to be released, we know it. And we are not going to touch that sensitive part of the liberation. We know how he is going to be released when we have crossed this bridge. That is if they have not released him before then. So we are not going to tell you how Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be released. But let me tell you, we know their plan. We told them that You release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now. And if he's going to intervene, there is any political whatever solution, let him come and discuss with us. And let us listen to him. Then, at the dying minute, he will come to say, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, come and talk to them. Well, we can still listen to him. The only thing we're after now is for him to come out from there. Forget the other thing. Forget how he is going to talk to us. Forget how he is going to convince us. Forget how he is going to address us. Bring him out. But if you think that what we are doing now is something you know before, we will disappoint you. Biafrans will disappoint. People have died in this struggle. We are going to disappoint you. I want you people to understand the way people have been killed in the name of Biafra, just for freedom. They kill us without remorse. Today starts the beginning of the program of Asaba Massacre. Biafrans were massacred in Asaba. Nigeria government and the Fulani, they didn't start killing us today. So today we are opening the Asaba Massacre. That is why I dress like this. Some of you are wondering, why did I dress like this? I dress like this because today marked the beginning in remembrance of Asaba Massacre. And now we are going to that program. Watch it.
The progress of the federal troops towards Asaba could be measured by the approaching sound of heavy guns and the rattling machine gun fire. Eyewitness account described 24 hours of ferocious shelling during which Asaba suffered its first casualties. Then the massacre followed. This video is inspired by the book entitled The Asaba Massacre, Trauma, Memory and the Nigerian Civil War, written by Elizabeth Baird and Fraser Otanelli. Welcome to Hispro Media. Approaching Asaba from along the Okpanam Asaba Road, federal troops reached the outskirts of town on October 4th, where they overcame some Biafran resistance before occupying the grounds of St. Patrick's College later that day. This was the 2nd Division of the Nigerian Army led by Colonel Morotala Mohammed and Major Ibrahim Taiwo. At this point, many of the residents had fled into the nearby bush. Hundreds of people, including some who had first fled to the bush, men, women and children, gathered at the square wearing white attires signifying surrender and singing One Nigeria, and also some bearing gifts for the soldiers. Since there was a
The same thing they did in 1967, 1970, 1968, 1969 to 1970. They killed the people shouting One Nigeria in Asaba. They murdered them in their thousands. In 2020, after many years, Fulani Nigeria government still killed Nigerians who carry Nigeria flag and shouting One Nigeria at the Lekki toll gate. What have changed? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
lot of anxiety, some refused to take part. Both traditional criers using guns and trucks equipped with loudspeakers were reportedly calling on everyone to join. The chief information officer from Benin City, an Asaba man named Frederick Conway, was aboard one of these vans. Since he was well known, the sight of him allayed the fears of many residents who then came out in their numbers. Others were ordered to take part after being pulled from their homes by soldiers. Celestina Izishe was a college student who returned home to Asaba at the instance of Northern pogrom and the threat of war. Her father resided on one of Asaba's most beautiful estates at the time.
She returned as a result of Northern pogrom. They were killing Biafrans in the north, even before the war started. So how long have they killed Biafrans for us to end this thing once and for all? That is why this generation, of which Simon Ekpa is proud of, to be part of, will end the Nigeria criminality, corruption, and the evil entity by 2023. We are going to be the regeneration that will bring freedom to our people. And we are doing it. And we are going to do it next year.
Which was made of a large brick house and a number of outbuildings. The family, which consisted of our parents, younger brother Osi, sisters, and an older brother Emmanuel, together with his wife and little child, had felt generally secured back in their home. Her father was a powerful man, and the family had recently celebrated her brother Patrick's ordination as a Catholic priest. They were now hiding as shots started to hit their house. Osi and his friend Callistus, both students of St. Patrick's College, hid under beds. However, when the soldiers arrived at their compound, all hell broke loose. Osi and his friend ran out of hiding and were accused of being Biafran soldiers. They were shot one after the other as they approached a gathering of women who were on a forced dance outside the gate of the compound. About 4,000 residents took part and were led by elders from the community. Groups emerging from homes in the 5 Asaba quarters joined those who had congregated by a big tree on the Indebisi Road across from the High Court.
About 4,000 Biafrans participated. What does this mean? What it means is that on that fateful day, over 4,000 Biafrans were massacred in Asaba. That is what we are remembering from today. We are going to run this program on Asaba Massacre today, tomorrow, and then on the 7th of this month, we are going to have a ghost town in entire Biafra land. And if you come out, that you have yourself to blame, because the Nigeria state are always there to kill anybody who tried to do what we ask them not to do.
St. Patrick's College student Christopher Ekpa, who had already witnessed a friend from school die, was waiting anxiously in his home. After some time, the crowd at Ndevisi Road started dancing and singing "One Nigeria, One Nigeria, One Nigeria." Along the major Ndevisi Road, the crowd passed the Catholic Church of St. Joseph. Any hope that this act of kindness would calm the troops was immediately dashed. As Ekpa narrated, federal forces flanked the marchers to prevent them from escaping, and other witnesses claimed they would also select men at random and have them killed in front of the crowd, as they did with Osi Isiche and his friend Kali.
Did you hear that? As far back as when this Asaba Massacre took place, they were selecting men in their random and kill them. The same thing is going on today. That is why we said Biafra war did not end. Today, they are abducting our people from military checkpoint. They are abducting our young men from police checkpoint, and they are killing them. Does that suggest that the war have ended? No. What led to the EndSARS protest? The people that paid the biggest price for EndSARS were also Biafrans. They abduct anybody that is riding a nice car. They abduct any Biafran that have laptop. They kill them from checkpoint. Is that happening in the north? The answer is no. Do they even have military checkpoint in the north? The answer is no. Do they abduct Hausa, Fulani people in the north, young men? The answer is no. But in the Biafra land, they are abducting. And we have banned military checkpoint and police checkpoint in the entire Biafra territory. We are in liberation phase. And the Biafra people have picked up arms to fight for their freedom and for self-defense. That is where we are now.
Once the crowd reached the corner of Ogbogonogo and Ogbeke markets, troops separated out women and small children, many of whom were carried into the maternity hospital on Indebisi Road, while the men and boys of around 12 years and above were channeled between 2 rows of soldiers down the side road that led to the square at Ogbeosoa, a village in the Asaba quarter of Ugbomanta. Eyewitness narrate how Paul Obebo, a federal soldier, tried to intervene. He said, "I was coming on my jeep and I saw a boy being taken away to be shot, and the mother held him by the waist, and then I came out and asked for this nonsense to be stopped, and when they refused, I cocked my gun, said, 'Don't do it or I will kill you.' I managed to save some lives there." However, things were now out of control. Obebo reported that he left the scene to join his own troops who were camped on the outskirts of town. At this point, witnesses describe how mothers were attempting to protect their young sons by wearing them skates and gloves so that they could look like girls. Their effort yielded little or no result as the men and boys were led away to the open field nearby. Here, one account reported that the federal troops divided the men into groups of 10 and shot them. Apparently, tired of killing their victims this way, they readied a truck-mounted machine gun and started shooting at the crowd of men. One survivor narrates as follows. When we got there, they said we should now stop. As we stopped there, they now surrounded us, sat us down, they started whipping us. The next thing we saw, the officer spoke in Hausa. I was born in the north, so I heard what he said. He said they should take us 10 by 10 and start firing us. I said we are finished. Some people say they are just trying to threaten us. That officer now picked out somebody from the meet, shot him, picked out another, shot him. Then people were praying, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they did. Another witness narrates as follows. 20 of our men were selected and lined up in front of us and told as follows. Today, I be your God. Me first, God second. God gave you life. Me, I go take him. 2 minutes time, you go die. 2 minutes afterwards, these 20 men were shot. Another 20 were picked up and the same ritual followed. 15-year-old Ife Uriah, who had joined the parade with his father and 3 elder brothers, Paul, Emmanuel, and Medua, described what happened. Some people broke loose and tried to run away. My brother was holding me by the hand. He released me and pushed me further into the crowd. They shot my brother in the back. He fell down and I saw blood coming out of his body. And then the rest of us just fell down on top of each other. And they continued shooting and shooting and shooting. I don't know how long it took. After some time, there was silence. I stood up. My body was covered in blood, but I knew that I was safe. My father was lying not far away. His eyes were open, but he was dead. Exactly how many died in this single incident is unclear. Around 700 to 800 seems likely, in addition to many who had died in the previous days. The shooting continued for hours until darkness was the survivors, including Ife Uriah, lay still under the heap of bodies for a long time. It was safe to wriggle out and run into the nearby bush. Ife Uriah and his cousin could later run to their grandmother's house where they found his sisters and 3 younger brothers. He told them their father and 3 older brothers were dead. Later he learned that Medua had survived, gravely wounded, and had been carried to the bush by his friend. Community elders Michael Ugo and Leo Okogu were among a large number of the leading age grades to die. With all the men either dead or in hiding, it was left to women and children to attempt to retrieve the bodies of their fathers, brothers, husbands, and other relatives and then drag them back to their compounds for burial. Joseph Unwaje, the boy who had returned with family from Ibadan, had escaped into the bush from the family compound after watching the earlier execution of his uncle, George, a prominent civil servant. When he returned a few days later, he learned of the death of his 2 brothers, aged 12 and 17, in the mass shooting. He narrates as follows. Mom told me that in the evening hours of the 7th of October, she had to go and look for their corpses at the mass place where they were shot. Most victims, however, were dumped in mass graves or thrown into the Niger River. Few people had any opportunity to conduct requisite burial practices, an affront that is deeply resented to this day. When it was safe to move about, Frank E.J., a local Red Cross worker, enlisted surviving men to dig horrid, shallow graves wherever they found bodies around the town. Esther Nwanze recalled how wives went searching for their husbands, dragging them home if they could find them. Some dragged 2 days before they reached their homes. As more people began to trickle back into town, it became urgent to dig mass graves for the many unclaimed bodies. Who oversaw the massacre at Asaba? At the Justice Oputa panel that heard testimonies about brutalities against different groups and marginalization of different sections of the country, General IBM Haruna, retired, claimed that he ordered the massacre and had no apology.
I, as a combatant commander of the troops,
As a witness in this box,
as a witness in this box, testifying for and on behalf of the soldiers who fought the Civil War, they fought it in the principle of preserving the Nigerian Federation. I have no apologies for maintaining the Federation of Nigeria.
Did you hear that? He fought it in the principle of maintaining the Nigeria Federation. The Federation is all about federation, all about Nigeria. It is not about human beings. It is not about the life of the citizen. It is not about the life of people. It is about preserving the nation. Who are they preserving the nation for? The British government. The British business money. Are they preserving the nation that you are going to have a good life? Are they preserving the nation that today, in 2022, you are going to be traveling visa-free to the world? Did they preserve Nigeria that by today, you will have electricity? Did they preserve Nigeria by today, you are going to have good road? Did they preserve Nigeria to kill our people that today you have hospital? Did they preserve Nigeria that your life will be better in Nigeria? No, the answer to all these things is no. Everything, every evil political leader, every evil military leader, every evil person in Nigeria supporting Nigeria today is doing it for their own personal interest and interest of the British, not your interest. And that is why we are needing a nation that will fight for the interests of the citizen, will fight for our own interests and not the interests of anybody. That is why we are ending it next year. And you better be part of this. Otherwise, you will shout, had I known. Because after the restoration of Biafra, we are going to revisit the people that supported the Biafra movement and those of you who decided to sabotage the movement. We are going to have a plan what to do. You know, that is going to be under the Biafra law, of course. Nobody is going to take law into his own hand against any Biafra citizen. So we are going to enact a law that will deal with some of you that decided not to support Biafra at the end. I'm telling you the fact. We are going to make sure that we have a law how to treat your fuck up at the end.
That was my task. If my commander-in-chief, who was in command, gave me command, which I carried out with troops, if he now feels to apologize, and he has apologized, it is in his own wisdom to do so.
However, some historians contended that Haruna was not in Asaba in 1967. They argued that he took over from Murtala Muhammad as the commanding officer of the 2nd Division in 1968. But why was Asaba the target of the federal troops, and particularly Colonel Murtala Muhammad or even IBM Haruna? Asaba is the metropolis where soldiers like Major Kaduna Nziogu, the leader of Nigeria's first military coup on January 15, 1966, came from. Even though Nziogu was born and raised in the north, his parents were from Okpanam, 9 kilometers from Asaba. Okpanam fell within the Asaba metropolis or division as it was known then. Analysts adduced that Murtala Muhammad and Taiwo were not satisfied with their revenge coup of July 1966, where they killed Igbo officers as revenge for the January 1966 coup. Remember that Nziogu had led the coup in which the premier of the northern region, Ahmadu Bello, beloved by many in the north, was killed along with other northern leaders. Murtala and Taiwo were hell-bent on continuing their revenge killings beyond their fellow soldiers. This could have been the reason behind the massacre at Asaba. Click the video here for more on the battles to reclaim the Midwest and to capture Nsukka. Remember to smash the like button on this video. Subscribe to his.
Our God is strength. We are on autopilot, I cannot show you. And the precipitous collapse of the zoo is inevitable. Absolutely inevitable. Our God is strength. We are on autopilot, I cannot show you. And the precipitous collapse of the zoo is inevitable.
IPOB autopilot. Water is the code. IPOB autopilot worldwide. Water is the code.
IPOB autopiloted movement for the liberation of Biafra. Water is the code. IPOB autopiloted movement for the liberation of the Biafra Republic and the Confederation. Water is the code.
Said 7th of October 2022 is our Remembrance Day for our fallen fathers, mothers, men, women, brothers, sisters, and children that were gruesomely murdered at Asaba during the Biafran genocidal war Nigerians waged against Biafrans. We hereby declare Friday, the 7th of October 2022, a sit at home in Biafra land.
n'igodo na kii ịpụtakwa ihe hiri were maka na mmanwụ anyị ga-agba n'ilo, mmanwụ anyị na-agba n'ilo, mmanwụ anyị na-agba n'ilo,
ọ nụrụ karịa ibi o.
Nigeria in seconds. Did you know that until 1958, Nigeria used the British West African pound, after which it issued its currency, Nigerian pound, in the year 1958, and then Naira was introduced on the 1st of January 1973. 1 pound was equivalent to 2 Naira. Did you know that the flag of Nigeria between 1914 and 1959 was a British blue ensign with a green Star of David surrounding a Tudor crown? It was later changed to a St. Edward's crown in 1953 with the white word Nigeria under it on a red disc. The colonial flag of Nigeria was adopted in 1914 following the amalgamation of southern Nigeria and northern Nigeria. The crest on the flag was also used on the flag of the Governor General of Nigeria. The flag was not universally accepted. Some Nigerians, including Fela Kuti, refused to salute the flag, despite it being mandated in schools. In 1956, some Muslim Nigerians burnt the Nigerian blue ensign at Mecca, Saudi Arabia, because of the Jewish Star of David on it. In 1959, before the Nigerian independence, a competition to design a new flag was held, with Taiwo Akinkomi designing the new flag of Nigeria, which replaced the blue ensign in 1960. Nigeria in seconds. Nigeria in seconds. Did you know that until 1958, Nigeria used the British West African pound, after which it issued its currency, Nigerian pound, in the year 1958, and then Naira was introduced on the 1st of January 1973. 1 pound was equivalent to 2 Naira. Did you know that the flag of Nigeria between 1914 and 1959 was a British blue ensign with a green Star of David surrounding a Tudor crown? It was later changed to a St. Edward's crown in 1953 with the white word Nigeria under it on a red disc. The colonial flag of Nigeria was adopted in 1914 following the amalgamation of southern Nigeria and northern Nigeria. The crest on the flag was also used on the flag of the Governor General of Nigeria. The flag was not universally accepted. Some native Nigerians, including Fela Kuti, refused to salute the flag, despite it being mandated in schools. In 1956, some Muslim Nigerians burnt the Nigerian blue ensign at Mecca, Saudi Arabia, because of the Jewish Star of David on it. In 1959, before the Nigerian independence, a competition to design a new flag was held, with Taiwo Akinkomi designing the new flag of Nigeria, which replaced the blue ensign in 1960. Nigeria in seconds.
All right. You're welcome back. We are going to take calls because this is just the beginning. The first day of this remembrance of Asaba Massacre started today. So we're going to run this program today, tomorrow, and then the next tomorrow, which is on the 7th of October, and on Friday, we're going to end with a sit at home. Sit at home is going to be a ghost town. And we want to use this opportunity to call the people in Asaba to respect the people that have paid with their life. Asaba people, we call on the government of Delta State, who is now running to become a vice president in Nigeria, to know that the people where he is a governor now has been killed in their cold blood in thousands. So we are expecting a complete ghost town in Delta State, in the Asaba, of course, to be precise. We have told you people the reason why we are not, very keen to what is happening out there in the other side of the Biafra territory, because of the thing that is best known to us. We know the kind of seed that the Fulani planted in them, and that is why the voice of Biafra is now going. We go from one state to another until we cover the entire south part of Biafra, and then we are expecting that to happen as soon as possible. So we still need sponsors of the Voice of Biafra to take some of the state as we go forward. We need Cross River, Bayelsa, which state again, and Calabar and all of them. We need those, in fact, in those places. We need to have the Voice of Biafra, at least the mother of the Voice of Biafra, before we begin to now have the smaller extension of the Voice of Biafra. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, Elijah will get you.
Hello?
From Vienna. Hello, can you hear me?
You go ahead. I have not opened the line. I don't know. Did I say somebody should call?
I just heard that we're gonna call tonight, so I said to give you a call.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead there quickly, please.
I just want to say thank you for the great job, but you're doing great job. Man, I just don't know how to say thank you, but I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
So just keep it on, bro. Keep it on. Idik.
There we Yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now.
Thank you. All right. This one, are you there?
I'm here.
Go ahead. This one, you didn't even allow the phone to on. You are calling.
You know, so I'm part of the monetary spirit.
You are part of the monetary spirit.
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
You know, say you are the man who shake the world, shake the YouTube.
The man who shake YouTube.
Yeah, the only man who shake YouTube.
The only man who shake YouTube.
Yes, so, and the world attention was drawn to your area. Say, who is this? It's like when somebody says in Jesus' name, the host of heaven will look down, say, who is this?
So YouTube noticed that I am live.
The whole world noticed that you were alive. The power that be, the principalities and powers.
Yes.
They noticed that you were alive.
So a very important person was actually watching. The attention was called on the broadcast yesterday.
Yeah, the second, you know what? The second richest man in the world started listening to your program through after the argument, would you test or not test? You know, they say there's a man championing this Biafran cause. So anytime you come on live, they always listen. Because many people, some friends here, and when you tell them about Biafra, they go Google, they start Googling it.
Yes.
To know about it. So things is happening. That's why you remember you say that there's something you tell us about Twitter. I don't know, maybe you forget.
Yes. And we are announcing that everybody should go to Twitter. Everybody. I will make a special announcement on that. I think probably tomorrow. Everybody should go to Twitter, and we want to see every agitating group, both our media, both our listeners, both our supporters. We need to go to the Twitter and make sure we engage the U.S. Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken. We are going to make sure we don't give him a breathing space until he understands that by next year, water will be on Nigeria. Water is the code. So that by the time they will hear the water, they will know that we have called their attention on Twitter. We must go to Twitter and make sure that the Secretary of course, if he make tweet, I don't know whether he make tweet at all, but if he make tweet, I don't think anybody follows him. So we are going to make sure that he notices that something is happening on his Twitter handle. We need to call his attention to let him know that his shenanigan is not going to work, and we are going to give water to Nigeria next year. So that by the time it is happening, he will know.
Yeah. So, he's still working under the agreement that the bribe he collected from Zoo government that made him to remove their name from people that are killing Christians.
Yes.
So that is why he's still serving under that agreement, and those the bribe they collected. That is it. But as it stands, like as it is, I love what you said, and which is truth. But the Biafra people don't understand you. That if you take us to make any friends with enemy of the world, we are willing to do that to make sure Biafra comes.
Somebody said that if we have seen Sahara reporter that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has relied on political solutions. Is Sahara reporter our spokesperson? Is Sahara reporter part of our communication and all that? When this Sahara reporter become the people that or the media that speak to us? We don't listen to nonsense. Sahara reporter is a Nigeria agent, so he cannot come and tell us what our leader. They know what to do. If they say Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has relied on political solution, he should come out and tell us. It's a joke. I think that's a joke. Okay.
See, we give them from the November ending. If they don't release our leader, even when they listen, we will not listen to him again.
When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. Our leader will come out and all right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome to the program. Good evening from here.
Yep. Hello.
Hello. Good evening from here. The line is going off. Hello.
Hello, Mazi Onyeka speaking, sir.
Yes.
How is that?
I'm all right. Welcome to the program.
Yeah. Thank you, the Great Dragon. See, Mas, thank you so very much for all you have been doing. More grace to your elbow, sir. More grace.
You're welcome.
There's something I want to say something I experienced so that we can look into it, okay?
All right, just be fast, please. A lot of people are calling and their call are going off.
Okay, listen. As one of the people who experience what it takes as a Biafran or Igbo man to be in one Nigeria, you see, my experience, anybody who experiences it can never go against Biafra restoration. You see, I got to know that there are some radio houses established and journalists trained especially to fabricate never happened stories just to demonize the Igbo people. That one is apart. Okay, there are also some people who are infiltrated blood, 100% Fulani people who are grew up in our land, that in police, they're in army, they are there to cause internal division. When you go to a checking point, you see somebody who his name is bearing Igbo person, you go and speak Igbo to that person, the person will tell you, it will be so harsh on you. When you got the one that is speaking for North, that one we leave you. You will say, Igbo people are too wicked. They don't love themselves. They just want to make you to feel that you cannot, Biafra restoration cannot be okay. You know, all those things. That one is apart. I want to tell us again, those who have their children hawking bananas and some other little children, how they are being destroyed by this Fulani, giving them drug. After they have taken drug, addicted to it, they cannot service it. They will be going to the small girls. They will be going to them to because of the drug, they cannot service it because only them can give them the drug. So they are using this method to destroy our little girls and boys. You know, the same way the politicians are doing to the youths. When they give them drugs, they will be addicted to it. So the youth will glue to them, doing what they want them to do. So in as much they will be giving them the drug. I want us to look into this. This is ongoing right now. In area, you see Fulanis dominated in the south. Precisely, there's a place that called Ore in Ondo State. I'm saying, when you go there, you see what these Fulani people are doing to people. The same thing in Imo State. Anywhere Fulanis together. I think I'm meant to look into this. Small girls. Small girls, this are destroying them. If we fail to restore the Biafra next year, a lot has gone wrong, and we don't need to wait more. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Of course, you're welcome to the program. Hello.
Yes, sir, brother. I'm calling from Lagos. Is it fine, brother?
You're welcome to the program. All these people calling from Nigeria, your network is bad. You're welcome to the program. Again, this one went off. Oh my goodness. Hello? Hello, welcome to the program. Hello, welcome to the program. Hello? Yes, good evening and welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Mazi. Thank you for everything you've been doing. I just want to let you know, right now, this is where you are going to face, I will say, the biggest challenge in this liberation. And I will say this is part of what Mazi Kanu prophesied when he said there are a lot of mountains to climb. And the way you navigate this area right now is going to really be very important in us getting Biafra. I was going to talk about the right talk that came from Sahara reporters. They actually said it came from Ozoheme.
Yeah, it is not. I have just seen it. Let us not misquote them. They said the right report is that Ezekome right Buhari seek political solution. It is not different from what we have been hearing. You understand? So it is not. There is nothing new here. Political solution has been in the discussion in the table for a very long time from the beginning. So what is different here?
Exactly. What I just want to say there is, based on what you said earlier, is where we stand. If Mazunadi Kanu wants to tell Biafrans anything, he has to go to Afaruko.
Of course. Of course.
Anything that he will say from TSS custody
is not acceptable. And now there we stand. Yes,
we know exactly what happened. I know I raised this point in the fundraising. I said something. These people have a plan, and I am happy that you actually raised it earlier in your broadcast.
Yes.
I talked about the fact that if they must release Nnamdi Kanu now, let them release him now.
Yes.
Because I see what they are planning to do. Close to the election, like few weeks to the election, they will release him to cause instability. Finally, in form of somebody who has not been around, and we know they may not be getting the right information. He will want to know what is going on before you jump into something that does not know. There will be no time to make that decision.
Yes.
And that's what they are planning to do. And you have to be aware of that.
Yeah, of course, we are aware of these things. So let him come out first. That is all we know. We want just to see him to come out. And then we can begin to talk about discussion.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, welcome to the program.
Good evening, Samuel.
There we What they don't know is bigger than them.
Still the man our code, not changing.
That is the code, and I change here.
Yes, Simon, I am calling from Bahrain, Chino, Sunday.
Okay.
I wanted to call you, but being Simon busy or sometimes I the mother would look for something to book. I want to hear you in Sri for Southeast Wabagota. The business so when they are Nigeria, Maria, and many nobody go about. So there are a lot of things. Someone they can need one or one governing born and the latest happening now on your own head. But I'm of no man. The Southeast governors not contribute to a group.
I don't want to hear that nonsense of any Southeast governor not contribute ego. If a governor not contribute ego, he contribute ego to do what? To do something like what? He contribute ego. Nobody should come here and tell me about Southeast governor contributing money. All right, welcome to the program.
Good evening, sir, brother.
Yes, go ahead. There is no network here. I don't know. Again. We have just a few minutes to go. I need to restart this. I don't know whether because of this that make the program or the call to be going off and on. Hello, welcome to the program.
Hello, Mazi, good evening.
Good evening from here.
I need to greet you.
There we
Please, Mazi, this video that you show now, there is something that the man said. He said that during that time, said the mothers are putting
skirt
women clothes to their
yes,
to their
yes, I know, I heard it.
Mazi, I witnessed that thing. My mom would do that thing to me.
Really?
You know? Yeah, even that time, my mom used to plait my hair with my senior brother. She would plait my hair like a woman. Wear me woman clothes. Yeah, my senior brother.
Wow.
I witnessed that thing. You know?
Wow.
So I witnessed it. And there is something that the zoo are trying to do. I will tell you this thing, and you will hear when they will announce this thing. What they are trying to do now is they will come and announce the Biafran governors will announce this thing or zoo thing. That now that the Biafra, you are free to agitate. You are free to carry your play card and your this thing. Nobody will kill you again. We are for peace. They are going to announce this thing. You will hear it. Because they want to trick us. And now, please, there's something I wanted to ask you. I don't know if it's okay if I ask you because the time has come. Because I have said that before, you know.
Yes, you have been asking questions all the time. So go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, Maz, you know, I want to know if we are going to have if Fulani wants it in peace, if we are going to have a referendum. Now, my question is, are we going to do that in the diaspora? Are we going home to do that voting, or are we going to do it here? Then if we are going to do it here, what of our children that is from 18 years up that have European citizenship, America, are they going to participate? Then if they are going to do it here, is it not time for us? Because you always say that there's no time. Is it not this time now that the Biafra in exile, we go to work? If it depends on to do a donation on that, because we don't want to take on our way. So I'm trying to ask this question to know if there's anything, because as you are saying before that we don't have time any longer. That's why I'm asking this question.
I think Biafra government in exile is they're already doing something or planning something on that. So that is not a problem. What we, in fact, if we get information of a referendum, we just need 1 month to have that exercise. And of course, we are going to make our stand known. Biafrans in diaspora have to vote. In fact, our vote is the most important vote, So the Biafrans in diaspora have to vote, and we have to adopt the electronic system of voting. So it is something, when we get to that bridge, we are going to cross it. But it doesn't matter. We know vote is vote, and there is nobody is going to, only maybe 1% we vote against Biafra. Well, you know, maybe 1%, which is normal. So, which is normal.
Can I ask another one question?
Go ahead.
Some of the questions that you ask, it's not that we that are living in diaspora do not know the question, but you are asking it because of our people back home, so that you can throw more light on them, understand me?
Yes.
Now, I want to talk about in a campaign. I'm not talking about this campaign. During the campaign, when Biafra come, are we going to be seeing this nonsense? People running around all this nonsense, or are we going to do it the way Europeans do it? Because the country that I'm living today, I don't even know the time they do election.
I am telling you, we cannot do all this nonsense they do in Africa. We are going to adopt a civilized way of campaign. And why this nonsense is happening is because you do not have database system. You don't go this nonsense where you have a database and the rule of law, where you have constitution and people respect their constitution and law, electoral laws and all that. We're going to have a civilized system. You have, first of all, a database system where immediately you turn 18 years, automatically you are going to receive your right to vote. And that your right to vote will become your voting card. Every election, automatically you are going to receive your right to vote at that particular election. Come to your house. Your unit where you are going to vote will automatically be there electronically. And when the time comes, you march, you can wake up in the morning, just go there, put your vote and leave. So we are not going to have those kind of nonsense campaign and all that. It's not going to happen. I'm telling you. So we are going to adopt of course, it is not like Western, but a more civilized way of conducting election in Biafra land. And we're going to do that. We're going to be the first country that will do it in Africa.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Miles.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
All right. I will take maybe how many call? One more call, and then we call it a day. One more call. Welcome to the program.
Hello?
Hello? Hello, can you listen to the phone and go ahead, please?
Hey, thank God. my chairman, my speaker.
Ndeo.
Yes, so I am a member of Autopilot IPOB. I'm speaking from Italy.
Ndeo, welcome.
I do go you, Mark Antonio of Biafra. I know what you mean. What is the action of the Mark Antonio of Biafra? Mark Antonio took that time.
Yes.
We actually took that step, and we are the winner.
Ndeo.
For something like you, God will just prepare you at this very moment. And those who do not, those who refuse, must agree.
By force.
Because nobody was appointed by a mass, and only you. And everybody must follow, whether they like it or not.
You see?
And the God is with you. Our God is with you. God of Biafra is with you.
Amen.
Our ancestral spirit is with you. Everything about Biafra, we are down with you. So you don't fear, don't panic. Continue. We are happy you are somebody like you moving up with this at this time where everybody find themselves. So we don't know what to do, but eventually God bring you. You are our comforter. Thank you very much. My brother, there is something I want to review to you. There's certain things going on in some communities in our community. Some of the Indians or whatever, we are given money to buy lands in some areas for Fulanis. Many of them, we need you to make a proper announcement for all the areas in Biafra land. Anyone that is trying to adopt the Fulanis or buy land for Ruga or whatever, must never, I will never try it in any other places. And no security. They will know any community will be forming security now. Every security must be only ESN which operates in Biafra land. Because they are all planning different kinds of evil ways in order to hunt our God made ESN. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Much. I'm saying continue. What you are doing is good for us. We're all happy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you very much.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I'm blessed all the family.
Thank you.
I'm blessed all members of IPOB, autopilots.
Thank you.
With us.
Thank you.
Because we are walking the same spirit.
Exactly.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you,
my brother.
All right, we're going to call it a day, and the broadcast end here. We continue tomorrow, and I want you people to understand that the time has come, and we will continue to make this broadcast. If you did not go through today, try again tomorrow, and we are going to be live again tomorrow to continue the program on Asaba Massacre, and then proceeding to the 7th day of October, which is going to be the sit at home and the ghost town, in remembrance of the people that were massacred in Asaba. On this note, I say, may God bless you. God bless Biafra. May God bless Mazin Dikano. May God bless Under Iboho. May God bless Oduduwa people. May God bless Biafra people. May God bless the Middle Belt. May God bless all of you. May God bless Umwada and their husband. May God bless our media team. May God bless all the financial donors for this Biafra liberation movement. May God bless all of you. From here, from me, is good evening.
You must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who is doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, very, absolutely fantastic job that he's doing. You must listen to him and share his videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we are making, and you must listen to him. Very, very important.
obodo genu ntị o onye kwuchitere ọnụ Biafra simzi unu
said 7th of October 2022 is our remembrance day for our fallen fathers, mothers, men, women, brothers, sisters, and children that were gruesomely murdered at Asaba during the Biafran genocidal war Nigerians waged against Biafrans. We hereby declare Friday, the 7th of October 2022, a sit at home in Biafra land.
A ga-alọkụ ya n'igodo na kii ịpụtakwa ihuhuri were maka na mmanwụ anyị ga-agba n'ilo, mmanwụ anyị na-agba n'ilo, mmanwụ anyị na-agba n'ilo,
ọ nụrụ karịa ibi o.
obodo genu ntị o onye kwuchitere ọnụ Biafra simzi unu
said 7th of October 2022 is our remembrance day for our fallen fathers, mothers, men, women, brothers, sisters, and children that were gruesomely murdered at Asaba during the Biafran genocidal war Nigerians waged against Biafrans. We hereby declare Friday, the 7th of October 2022, a sit at home in Biafra land.
A ga-alọkụ ya n'igodo na kii ịpụtakwa ihuhuri were maka na mmanwụ anyị ga-agba n'ilo, mmanwụ anyị na-agba n'ilo, mmanwụ anyị na-agba n'ilo,
ọ nụrụ